Hey everybody, it's Grace here, the Comfy Nest with Grace. We are going to be doing a mixed media project and using Chalk Couture with it. So I'm going to grab my squeegee because I'm going to need that later. I'm going to do one solid color with this transfer, Trust God and Chill. And I love the font. You can see all the distressing on the font. Super fun, super fun. So I want a mixed media background. I'm going to do some paper collage. And actually, I grabbed my phone book first because this is the book that I have been paper collaging in with my leftover scraps. And so I was going through the book thinking, yeah, like if I could just find one of these, it would already be done. So I started going through them and was looking for something really neutral. That's really what I'm looking for, is something really neutral. And I found a page that's very neutral. However, these pages are just too small. They're just too small. So I grabbed some 9x12 paper. We are going to need to create a collaged background for our project. So I'm going to put this aside. I actually am going to use a glue stick to start, and then we'll switch over to Mod Podge because I'll be doing the Chalk Couture over the paper and I will want to protect it. So we'll do Mod Podge on top of that. I'm going to grab the feed to make sure you guys can see and hear me, and so, just so I can see comments, because I can't right now see any comments. So let me see. If you're here, please say hello. Maybe those comments will pop up for me, and then I'll get to hang out with you, and actually we can chat back and forth, which would be really lovely. It's not showing up for me yet. Oh, good gravy. Facebook, what is up with you? Have you guys seen, just tell me in the comments, do you know of a creative who's struggling with the big book of faces, as Chris Hunter would call it? I love that she calls it that. Or I've heard her call it that before. I want to know if you are seeing any creative business owners having trouble. And if you are, give them a shout out in the comments if they've lost something, if they don't have access anymore. I'm knowing people who have created new pages, starting all over again. It just is so disheartening. And this is why I created my free community offline. It's online, but it's off of social media so that we make sure that we can stay connected. I've sent several invitations. The Craft Therapy Club chicks were invited to that. It's brand new. We're invited first about a month ago. And now just this week, I've sent a couple of emails out inviting everybody else to join us in the free community off of social media so that we make sure we don't lose touch with each other. We can still share our project photos and ask questions, and you guys have the opportunity to take advantage of any offerings that we have at the Comfy Nest through that system. And if you take a workshop, there's a community component tied to it on that system. If you're a Craft Therapy Club member, the community will be tied to that system. So if you'd like to join us, make sure you get on the email because I'm sending the invitation out to the email list. Okay, I can't find me at all on Facebook. It's just not showing up. So it's just going to make me work hard for this today. It appears. Let me just see if I can try one more thing. Facebook, you are something else. All right, it did show up finally. Here it is. Okay, now I can see Janet's here. Hi, Janet. Hey, Lori. You think everybody's struggling with the book now? Hi, Tanya. How are you? Thanks for saying hello. Do you know of anybody particular? Hey, Andrea. Hi, Lisa Kid. I see you guys. Now I see you. Thankfully. Hi, Judy. How are you, Judy Cushing? All right, so I grabbed a bunch of papers here, and I wanted them to be very neutral because this is the background. I want it to be in the back. I very well may add some gesso on top of it. I'm not sure, but thankfully, the phrase that I'm going to put on top of here, this Chalk Couture transfer or stencil that I'm going to use to put on top of this background, will be the focal point, and it's very bold. It's very bold. Even though it's very distressed, the letters are very distressed, they're very bold, so it shouldn't be too hard to see. I'm going to start gluing down, and I'm going to grab this as a backdrop so I don't get glue on my table. I think that's what I'd like to do. Hey, Jerry, thanks for sprinkling. I appreciate you, friend. That is how we meet new people. So thank you for helping to get us out and get me out in front of other people. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Mary's here. Hello, hello. All right, loving it. I went with super neutral. I'm just gonna start adding things on. I don't want that, a whole strip of that. I'm gonna chop that down a little. And I'm using the old school glue stick because I like that it's purple and you can see where you've applied it or where you've missed, which is nice, right? This will all get glued over with other stuff. So I want to just get it down on here first. Yeah. And I don't even mind, this is going to be upside down, and I don't mind that because again, it's the background. It's not the top, it's the background. Loving this. It's cardstock, but I love the color and it's yellow, so it's very pale, right? So I think we'll be able to use that on here. And you see, I'm not thinking much. I'm not trying things on. I'm just gluing it down because we're going to be adding other stuff on top. It's just part of the background. I really prefer when I'm doing paper collage to not use cardstock, to be truthful with you. I'd rather we not deal with cardstock, but that piece was a piece of cardstock. I just think they're easier to glue down. And if you want a smoother surface, a cardstock can actually raise up, you know, put a little bump on your surface if you're doing something. This almost fits right here. The one thing I'll say about this, you do run out of these fast. They're very, very soft to spread, which makes it easy to spread, but then you fly through them pretty quick. I'm just gonna even that shape out a little bit. Let's see what everybody's saying. You love that transfer. I do too, Laura. I love that it's so bold. I love the phrase, but I love the font on it too. Sometimes some of the fonts for a mixed media person, like if you're not just putting the design on a blackboard, like, you know, the blackboard behind me where it's just the words that you're seeing. Sometimes the fonts are just they're dainty and they're pretty script, but sometimes they're just too dainty for what a mixed media person needs, mixed media artist. Because if you're doing lots of stuff to the background, you're going to presumably need it to be bold. All right, let's see. I'm trying to use up what I got here. Let's just stick it. I could actually go a little higher with that. Oh, this would fit right there, but I don't like straight edges. You know me. Creative Crafting by Katie got her monetization taken away months ago. Oh, Holly, I have not had monetization. For me, I had no monetization for years here on the Comfy Nest. For years, and then I finally got it back. It's just brutal. It's brutal. I don't use ads, or I try not to. If you ever see ads on my page, I try not to. There's a setting you can turn it on and off, and I try to leave it off because they kind of irritate me. I don't know how you guys feel about ads. When I'm trying to watch a creative live, I'd rather not watch the ads, you know? I just would rather not. Especially when it's not even related to stuff that we like. It's not even related. They never told her why. Oh, no, because they never get back to you, Holly. There's nobody to talk to. There's nobody to talk to. It's just like this phantom system that lives out there. There is absolutely nobody you get to talk to when you have something that's not working for your business. So if you get a chance to support a creative offline, they have a Patreon site. They have a Buy Me a Coffee site, which I have that on my LinkedIn. If you have a chance to, purchase something that they're selling or be a member of their group, like I have the Craft Therapy Club, that is how you can truly support us. Because even when we are monetized on Facebook, that doesn't always work either, right? It's a little crazy. I did someone say that she's getting a new page? This is not bold. I think I sprayed that. It's a book page. I'm going to use the other side. I'm going to use the other side because it's very, very neutral. Is creative, Creating with Katie. I can't remember how her page name goes. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it right. Is she getting a new page? Chris Hunter's starting to move over to her keto page and renaming it. I knew that. I just learned that last week. We've been really out of touch, so I did not even realize she was having trouble. She's got 2 pages. That is a lot to keep up with, girls. That is a lot to keep up with. Yikes, I do not envy that position to be in for sure. At one time, I had a Chalk Couture business page when Chalk Couture would not allow me to share Chalk Couture on this page. I had a separate business page, and it was a lot. It was so stressful to have 2 pages and try to keep up with everybody in 2 places, and then to like help people understand and not be confused by the 2 pages. So no fun at all. Make sure to, if you have a way, oh, there it goes, it's out. If you have a way of connecting with some of these creatives off of the Book of Faces through YouTube. I don't use Instagram really. I have an account, but I really don't use it. It's owned by Face. They're the same account. Like when I log into the business part of my business page, the Instagram and the Facebook are in the same place. So it's same company. YouTube, something different. So if you really are enjoying what we do here, go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Okay, get on the Telegram channel. It's independent of the Book of Faces and YouTube, so that when social media goes awry, you still can be in touch and stay in touch with us, which is what we love. All right, I'm going to try to milk as much of this purple glue out of here as possible. Do you see what I'm trying to, even though it keeps falling off of the handle. All right, I just need a couple of more spots to fill. Let's use this maybe. Let's use this. I'm just going to chop it down to something smaller right here. And then we're going to decide, I got to decide if I'm going to put gesso in the middle. I might use gray gesso. Look at this. Everybody in the S part of the phone book, you're now in my page. You're now in my project. One more little piece. Let's see, do I have a little piece here that I can put right here? Who else likes to paper collage? Who are my fans of paper collage? All right, this is it. This is the one last piece. I think. Let's. Oh no, I got one spot right there that I missed. Now I'm not even worrying so much about all of the edges being completely down, because remember, I'm going to go over it with Mod Podge to seal it all, so that I can make sure that I can use the Chalk Couture transfer on top of it. So there we go. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to Mod Podge this, you guys. I think. Or, excuse me, gesso it. This is what we got so far. That is coffee stain paper, and it actually looks kind of dark on there, doesn't it? That's where the gesso is going to come in. I'm going to cut off the excesses. We got some excess hanging over the edges. I'm just going to go around and clean that up. I think I got it all. Easier to see from the back, to be truthful with you. Lisa's working on a mixed media project. Awesome. You collage every day. Lori, it's just so relaxing, isn't it? I have been sketching most nights now. Oh my gosh, for you guys in the Craft Therapy Club, I shared that photo of the abstract flowers with you. My husband with the comment with the boobs inside the Craft Therapy Club, because I felt like it was more appropriate in there. Smaller, private community. I have some photos of Gannon. Gannon, I was sketching last night, people, and I was showing Gannon my inspiration sketch. And then here's my sketch, like trying to mimic that, trying to learn how to sketch faces better. And I said to him, like, I was trying to do men and their hair. And he's like, oh, let me do that guy's hair. Because I was almost done. I had everything done but the hair. And I'm like, okay, you can do the hair. my stomach hurt so much. I was laughing so hard at the way that so I have taken photos and I'm going to be sharing with you some of Gannon's handiwork in my sketch pad. Oh, so I love paper collage. I love paper collage, but lately, and I could do it every day. I literally could do it every day. But lately I've been under the heating pad on the couch, you know, so it's easy to just have my sketch pad and some pencils right next to me. And I've been learning to sketch faces better. So anyway, I will share with you girls in the Craft Therapy Club. It is hilarious. Hilarious. Debbie loves paper collage and fabric collage. It's my go-to when I'm in a creative slump. So I was just going through my book and seeing, so this is the book that I've been using for Chalk Couture mixed media projects. And I have one of both. This is a fabric collage. Oh my gosh, Debbie, so fun. And then I do have a paper collage in here, but this paper collage is all book pages. And I love that look too. I love all book pages behind a project as a background. Now I didn't do that this time. I have a little bit of book page, but not completely. Now, actually, I wonder if I could use an ink for this. Think, Grace. Think. What do you want to do? I was thinking I would use... I was going to use gesso. I have a gray gesso that I was going to use on here. But now that I'm seeing it's a little bit of green on here, let's just see if frayed burlap distress ink, it's actually oxide, on here will soften it up enough so that I make sure that the transfer is truly, I want this to be the focal point. I have three other graphics pulled out that I'm going to put on there with it, hopefully, for focal points. I'm looking for the correct little doodad. What do you guys call this thing? The correct doodad. Hey, Kimberly Murders. I feel terrible right now. Lori, I was just under the heating pad. And I scheduled myself when I'm done here, I'm going to go pick up groceries. But then the bank needs something from us, paperwork. So I got to go to the bank. I got to go to the post office. I got to go pick up my prescription. So I have at least an hour's worth of errands after this. And honestly, it's hard to move. I feel really good under the heating pad. That's about it. And I can't take that thing with me. All right. I think this is going to be too dark. I think this is good. Unless I think that this is, well, there it's too dark, but overall, I don't think it's going to change and make everything look cohesive enough. Let's try a little more and just see. All right, Gracie, I need to commit and do a few of these pieces of paper so I can see how this frayed burlap looks on all of these, the variety of papers on here. I can always change my mind later. Maybe this will work. Maybe. Let's just go in and see. I want it to look distressed. I want it to look, you know, not perfect. That's not I don't like perfect things. I want things, no, it doesn't even make a difference on the coffee stained paper, to be truthful with you. It looks like there's nothing on there. Well, I guess there it's just really darkening it up. Holy, I don't want it that dark. Maybe I'll just go over the phone paper, like the lighter toned ones. Interesting. It's interacting with the glue. See in this strip right here, where it's really dark, those dark marks, that's glue. That hasn't dried yet. I should really wait for it to dry. Do as I say, don't do as I do, right? But, you know, I try to be very conscientious of your time. I know there are other people you want to catch doing some creative stuff online. I know you got people to take care of in the background, pets to take care of, chores to do. I mean, you're no different than any of us, right? We're all the same. Busy mamas, grandmas, wives, you know, neighbors, whatever you're doing, church going friends. So many of you I know volunteer in your communities. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know. I'm feeling like it's not dark enough or bold. I don't. All right, I pick my words. Let me pick my words better. I feel like it's not enough coverage, to be truthful with you. It's not the darkness, it's coverage. Let's add a little more. Let's see what we get. This, because this is turning it into a like a darker rather than a softer scene, I'm going to have to pick a bright paste like white. Maybe I'll do yellow. I've been getting into yellow since we've been using it. I don't think yellow will match. White would, or a very, very soft green would be really pretty. I may add something else. I'm not particularly, I know, maybe I'll stain with some stencil with a little bit of acrylic paint. Let me find my stencils, girls. Where did I put them? Oh. Okay, hold on. I'm going to grab my stencils. And I might, let's see, what do we want to use? Not diamonds today. Maybe that one. I like that snakeskin one. I don't want any of these big ones. I want a small pattern. No, not that one. That one is very unusual, but I don't want that one today. Not today, thank you. I do like this one. This one I sell in the shop. I do like the dots, and I haven't used this one in a long time. Let's use this one. And I gotta I gotta start making decisions about colors. I think I will use a green here for a green paint. Got my new little porcelain dish. I bought more of those. I love them so much. They're so easy to clean. They're so handy. They're really small, you know, for your table if you have a limited space. So I'm thinking a green because we have some green peeking out in the papers. We got green here. We got green right there. So to make it a little more decorative, and the paints will be, I'm going to go with the one that's a little more drab, not so bright. I'm going to put a little in my little flower here. Isn't that so cute? So cute. I need a little stencil brush. So what are you all up to today? Yes. Yes, Lisa. She was thinking green too. You and I, we have the same thoughts. All right, I'm going to load it up here, and then I'm going to come on the paper. Can you see that? The paper right here. And I'm just going to work that paint up into that brush. And I want enough of it, so it's going to come off. Now, I don't know. This might be too subtle. We might have to go a little bit darker. And let's just grab our stencil and see what we get. I'm going to go in very specific areas because I want, this is trying to bring everything together. So every layer that you put on top of this collaged background is going to put that background further in the back. So it's going to become less and less prominent with every single layer that you put on here. So let's see. Oh, so pretty. I think I might want it to be a little darker. My little my New England accent's coming out a little bit. Maybe a little bit darker, girls. Let me see. I'm looking for a different green that I can mix. What happens if I mix a little brown in there? I'm not seeing a green that I love. I'm going to grab some brown. I'm gonna put it in a new dish, like a new section of that little dish. And I'm going to try to mix it with the other green and see what we get. Too dark. More green, please. That's better. Okay, let's see. No reason why we can't have two colors. It sounds like it's raining out. It's not, but I don't, maybe, where is that sound coming from? I hope nothing's leaking or no pipes burst or anything. Is it just my imagination? Where is that noise coming from? Gannon is homesick again today. Okay, I'm gonna show this to you. It's really, really subtle on here, but it's raised up because the paint is rather thick on there. I love the texture. I love how it's textural, especially with the papers behind it. And I love that, I actually love that we have the two different colors there. I'm gonna do the same thing here in this opposite corner down here. I'm gonna start with the green, like I did before, and then we're gonna add more of the brown to it. So we're gonna have a little bit of both. I have a little bird and I have a butterfly that I want to add to this project, but I don't know if they're going to all fit. So I feel like I need to get this all together and then decide that. Sometimes these little hole openings, the little holes are so small that you have to actually stipple it in. It's not enough to rub over it. It just goes right over it if you rub like that. So sometimes you have to go right in that hole and stipple up and down with that paint. Wow. I'm going to do a few more. I'm going to show this to you. There's that corner. See how subtle it is? But it does force the other stuff more to the background, which is what we want. All right, we're grabbing some green. And I'm going to go in this corner with some more. Making all those patterns from the paper, all the words from the paper that we used in the collage to go further back, every layer that you add on top. And I'm going to do a little bit more on this book paper now that I'm talking about it. And I know we're going to stencil with the transfer. We're going to go right over this. Again, another layer. Okay, so see how I went right over those words? What that does is it pushes those words more to the background, which is what we want. Okay, messy fingers. Let me see. I have a wet wipe here that got dry. It's no longer wet. What's everybody up to? Who's creating today? And what are you working on right now? What are you creating right now? Are you crocheting? Are you knitting? Are you sewing? Are you quilting? Are you stenciling? What kinds of stuff makes you happy right now? All right. I want to do something to the edges because I feel like they're really too perfect. Let's muck them up a little bit. I'm gonna grab this guy, and I think I just want to use this foam dauber. I just don't have enough room in my, I don't have enough room here, girls. I don't have enough room. You're organizing supplies, Laura. Good for you. Do you have something going on, like making a change in the space? Did you move your space, or is it simply you're just being organized? Just taking stock. Oh my gosh, when I do that, it's like I inevitably find something. It's like, I forgot that I had this. Why aren't I using this? I love this thing, whether it be a punch, or sometimes I forget that I have my embossing machine. It's like, where is that thing? Oh yeah, it's in a cupboard. If it's not in front of me and I don't see it, uh-oh, I better fix that. If I don't see it, then I tend to forget about it. I kind of wish my cupboard was clear. The doors are white. If it was completely clear, like glass doors, I could see everything, right? And then I would be like, oh yeah, I should use that today. But when it's kind of out of sight, out of mind sometimes. All right, my paint is still a little wet, but I'm going around and you can see the difference. I did not do any distressing on the edges here, but I did here. And again, I distressed all the way from here down this side, and you can see how much I like it so much better than the bright side. There's no right or wrong. If you like the edges brighter, then leave them brighter, but I want to darken them up and distress them a little bit. And like I said, my paint is still a little bit wet, so I'm getting a little bit on my fingers. All right, after I do this, we will put a big, thick, good coat of Mod Podge on here. I think I'm done with the background. And then I have stenciling to do, and then I have some embellishments to put on top of it. Let's just soften this out a little bit, and this yellow just a little bit more. All right, here's what we have so far. Okay, on to the next phase, which is Mod Podge. I gotta grab it. You got a new space and you started junk journaling, Laura. Good for you. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's awesome and that you enjoy it as much as so many of us do. And good for you in your new space. What's everybody else up to? Talk to me, folks. Talk to me. I'm gonna use my hard coat, Mod Podge. Oh, if I can get it open. There we go. Somebody, I saw somebody comment in one of the groups that I belong that her goal is to do a junk journal, her first in 2024. I was like, yes, I love it. Love it. That's good news. All right, we're spreading some Mod Podge. We're gonna really coat this thing up. We're doing a couple of things here. Top coating, which is protecting the paper and protecting the transfer from each other. But also, it's going to secure down all those collaged papers that are kind of like sticking up in the corners and stuff. This is going to really secure them down, glue them down. And you can see I'm being really generous here. Lots and lots of it. We're not skimping. Starting in the middle and then making my way out. I go right over the edges because I don't want to miss the edges, which you guys know I sometimes do, right? Those of you who have been here with me long enough, you know, Gracie misses her edges. Okay, now that I've got it all covered once, I'm just going to start and I'm going to go down continuously in a patterned way so that I have, you know, if any brush strokes show, they're going to show all going the same direction. It'll look unified. See that? Okay, now we need to dry it. Easy peasy. We got this, girls. We got this. You're working to support your craft habit. Lori, good for you. We all need to have something that we love to do, whether it's reading. How many of you read? How many of you read as a hobby, as something to relax? Relax time, downtime, me time. Whether it's reading, knitting, going for a walk, you know, whatever it is that you love to do. Do I have a little buildup? I do. I have a little buildup right here. I've been sketching lately. I like to do creative things, and if it's something I can do because I don't feel good, then I need to be at the couch with my heating pad. That if it's something I can do that way, that is really nice, right? Like I'm not going to bust out glue and paints sitting on the couch watching TV. My living room doesn't really allow for that, but I can have a sketch pad in front of me, or I'll use Procreate on my iPad. I prefer a pencil and paper though. You knit more than you read, Kimberly? I wish I knew how to knit. I tried once to learn a long time ago. And you know what's interesting? Is there anything that you've ever tried and you thought, yep, I'm glad I tried that. I don't think I'll ever do it again. Paint pouring for me. Paint pouring is one of them. Knitting is another one. I've never tried to crochet, but I found knitting hard, so I'm not sure that I would have the patience to learn that either. But how many of you have tried something? Tell us what it is. I would be so curious to know. and then put it aside because you thought I did one and I'm good with that. It's not something I ever feel like I need to go back to. It doesn't bring, so the thing is, we want to find stuff that really truly get you excited, get you motivated and inspired and wanting to sit down and create. There are lots and lots of ways to create and be creative. Lots and lots of them. And it's okay to say, you know what, that's not for me. That's not for me. I don't know if it's stamping, scrapbooking, knitting, crocheting, quilting. I don't know. Name it. Name your thing. Beadwork. Do you do beadwork? Gosh, there's so many ways to be creative. Cross stitching. So Kimberly says cross stitching is her thing. That she's willing to let go. It's just not something you want to spend your time on. That's totally cool. Mesh wreaths, Debbie said. I didn't like wreath making either. I've tried a few times over the years, but no, it's not something I really got really excited about. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean wreath makers are bad. It just means it's not my jam. I have a little bubble right here. So I'm going to try to use something flat while this is still warm. We'll get all that glue under there. We should be able to get this to behave a little. Behave, flatten out a little bit. I got one really big bubble here. That's just I'm gonna have to just live with that one. I love texture though in my projects. So to me, a crinkle in the paper or something going the wrong way, you know, folded over the wrong way, that stuff kind of actually gets me thrilled because I think then the project is unique. It's different. It has texture. It has movement. Okay, this is what we're looking at so far, and you can see that bit of a sheen that comes from the Mod Podge hard coat. It's more like a satin coat. I'm going to dry it just a little more, and I'm going to stay a little further away so that the heat doesn't make my glue underneath the paper bubble up. Just stay a little further away. Kim says, I love the idea of cross stitching, but it's just not for me. Sam, that's totally cool. Lori Wallace, crocheting and knitting didn't do it for me. It didn't work for me. See, Lori, there's always something, and it's totally cool. It's totally cool. There's nothing bad about finding your preferences and sticking with them, right? All right. And here's my caveat, my little note. If you're at home, see, I can feel, this is dry, like there's nothing coming off on my hand, but it's still tacky. It's still tacky. It's not cured. And Mod Podge takes a while to cure. So my advice to you, if you're doing this, is to make sure that you give your paper time to cure. Do not rush this process with the top coat. If you can avoid the heating tool or a drying tool, avoid it and just let it sit and dry on its own time. This is dry, but it's not cured. I can still feel a little tackiness to it. You can just tell. You can just tell. It's not quite the hard coat that it will be once it's had time to sit. So give it time to do that because you will have more success. You'll have better success with your project if you allow the time that's needed. Okay, I'm going to grab, if I can find it or reach it, my fuzzing cloth, and I'm going to fuzz the heck out of this thing. I haven't picked a color yet. Maybe a green would work. Maybe I should just do a soft green for the words. I was thinking white, but I think white is going to be too stark. I have an off-white would work. Like, what color do you think I should do the words in? Darla, she says, I loved cross-stitching. I cannot do it anymore because my hands, carpal tunnel, and neuropathy. Yes, I understand that. Yeah, with, you know, as we age and our bodies get tired, we may need to find other ways to be creative because our bodies just, sometimes things are just too hard on our bodies. Our bodies have done a lot for us over our lifetimes. All right, what color? Let's see. Hey, Callie, how are you, friend? You said my three, the mesh wreath, crochet, and knitting were difficult for me. I make other wreaths, just not with, oh, where did that go? Not with mesh. Yeah, I'm not a big wreath maker in general. Oh, it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. I don't get excited about the ribbons. there was a time when I went through a ribbon phase. I really did. I bought a ton of ribbon. I was enjoying them on my crafts at the time. And then I just quickly realized that's not my jam. It's not my jam. That's okay. I'm checking everybody's comments to see what you're all saying about it. Okay, I gotta pick a color. Brown would show up really well. Black is too stark, white is too stark. I need something not black and white. I'm gonna go look at my paste colors, which is right, it's off camera, but right here. You guys, I'm not seeing any suggestions, but give me your suggestions of color in the comments. I actually have to turn this light on so I can see what I'm doing back here. And I'm gonna look for a color that might jive with that. I want it to be dark enough to be seen, but not so bold. Maybe gold? Do you think gold would show up well? All right, look it. I'm just gonna bring this over here. Gold might match too much. White is too stark. This is a really light blue. I have a dark green. I don't want dark green. I don't want shimmer green, although shimmer green is beautiful. This is called eggshell blue. I think it's too, maybe. We'll pull it out. We'll look at all these options. Actually, the bird that I'm going to put on here is blue, so maybe the blue would work. That's like a dusty blue. What's this one called? Dusky. Dusky with a K. Dusky blue. All right, let's see. That green is too dark. Not red. Not pink. Not shimmer. Mauve. That's not mauve. Plum. Bubbly. I don't think that would show. That's beautiful. It's like a champagne color. It's called bubbly. That's the only shimmer that I picked because I wasn't thinking shimmer, but that is beautiful. Shimmer rose gold. Let's look. Can you see these up against here? Whoa, they're all rolling in different directions. Okay, the gold is too close to the color. It's out. I think this, although it's very beautiful, the rose gold shimmer, I think it's gonna blend too much with the other colors. So let's put that one away. So now I'm down to these three. I've got dusky blue, ocean mist, and eggshell blue, which is more of a green. Actually, you can really see it there. I'm thinking this one, the tone of this one, ocean mist, is too close to the tone of the colors that are on there. So now I'm down to blue or green. Blue or green. I think blue. Lisa said the blue, the darker blue, right, Laura? The dusky blue, this one right here. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, Teresa says right. Are you saying right or on the right? Which one are you saying? That I'm right, like meaning correct, or it's on the right, the one that I should pick? Maybe Lisa, we'll see. Brown might work too. I do think that brown, but then it would be so brown because I already have, and that's actually both coffee colored is on the outside, and then on the inside was the green color. I mean, it's frayed burlap, and it's really not that green. Okay, we're gonna go with the blue. We're gonna flip this. That's giving this good. That's giving this another minute to not be so tacky. I'm fuzzing the heck out of this because it's brand new. So I'm fuzzing the heck out of it. Let's hope and pray that my glue has had enough time to stick so that none of this paper, nothing comes up. If I have any edges that are sticking up, I don't want any of this to come up. Okay. I think we're safe. I think for sure what you would want to do is make sure that you give it enough time. Don't rush this process. I need this to fall there's a little bit of space all the way around, but I'm gonna put this down close to the bottom because I have this little bird that I wanna put on top of the phrase. So I'm gonna float this down until I get close to the bottom. And then if I don't have to get all the way on the bottom, that would be ideal. So I'm gonna take my little birdie and I'm gonna test. That would be perfect right there. Okay, now it's on there, but it's not completely stuck on there. I am not gonna push on the margins. I'm gonna push on the letters very, very gently, okay? I'm not applying a ton of pressure. It's like equivalent to if my kid had a boo-boo when they were little and you put the Band-Aid on and then you just rub softly on the adhesive of the Band-Aid to make sure that it doesn't come up. That's the kind of pressure. We're not putting a ton of pressure on this because we don't want to take our paper out. Okay. Is the bird 3D? No, it's a sticker paper that I made stickers using printouts that, digital downloads that I bought on my Cricut Maker. I put them in the Cricut Maker, all of these digital downloads, and then printed them on my printer on sticker paper and then put them through the Cricut Maker, and the Cricut Maker cuts out the shapes. So that was a digital download that I purchased, printed it on sticker paper, and then ran it through my Cricut Maker that cut it into, Fussy cuts it for me, which is beautiful. Uh-oh, this looks a little dry. Where's my squeegee? Let's see how dry it is. Oh, it's dry, girls, look. You can reconstitute it, but it might take a minute. It might take a hot minute. I'm gonna put this down for a second and just see. Oh man, that's a bummer. Just because I don't want you to have to wait and watch me reconstitute that. I'm looking at my pile of, just to see if I have another one in that color. Do I have two? Sometimes I have more than one. This is actually gorgeous. What is this? Dear Diary. I haven't even used this one once yet. That is beautiful. I know I haven't opened that one. Let's just see. I'm going to try to reconstitute this enough so that I can use it, but it is kind of dry. When this happens, like, it's movable. I can move it, but it's more like a texture paste than it is chalk paste, right? So it's coming out thick. Spray. I always use distilled water. Always distilled water because you don't want to get mold. Spray once or twice. Mix if you can. And if right now, see, it's too hard to even mix it. It's like a clump. Put it in your microwave for 5 seconds or less. It's going to soften the chalk paste so that you can mix it more easily. Okay, so that's my little tip for you. If it didn't soften it, 5 seconds, take it out, stir it a little bit, put it back in for 5 seconds, stir it a little bit. It's kind of like melting chocolate in the microwave. You don't ever want to get it going for 30 seconds at a time. You want to do it in very, very short increments of time and keep pulling it out. And it, even though it doesn't appear right from the beginning that it's softening, it really is softening with every single bout in the microwave. So that's what I'm going to have to do to this because that's not working. It's just too thick. Okay. Plan 2. We need another plan. Hey, Nancy in North Carolina. Thanks for spreading the blessings. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. All right, we got to pick another color, girls. And I do really like this. I just feel like the color is not bold enough. So I'm putting this one aside because that one's going to have to go to my kitchen for a little microwave session. But let's look and see. Purple is too bold. I'm also going to look at the butterflies and the bird that I have and see if I can find a color that would jive with that. That's too dark. It's not the right green. I do like the gold. I just don't think it's going to show up well enough. Blue is too light. Now this color, what the heck is this one? Pomegranate. It's another one I haven't used in ages. It's not going to work. Oh, girls. You know, having lots of chalk paste, I've been doing this for 6 years. Oh, this color is really beautiful. It matches my shirt, actually. My cardigan. It's called Fig. Having done this for 6 years, I've been through lots of pots of paste, and I will tell you, when you buy a pot of paste, unless you are chalking for 4 hours a day, it is going to last you a long, long time. I'm kind of tempted to go with that plum. Doesn't quite match my bird, though. I don't want orange. I look at orange and I'm like, I don't want orange. I don't want no orange on here. Blue would be nice. Well, that's a really pretty blue, and it matches my bird. And it would show up. Let's do the blue, because that's going to show up really well. Okay. Well, that was a little bit of a workout. I'm going to grab a different squeegee, because now that other one has, well, yeah, it has some of that blue on there. So I'm just going to grab a new one. Your shimmers will always be wetter longer. They don't dry out nearly as fast as the matte ones. Something with the shimmer. I don't know why, but they just don't dry out as fast. And I'm getting blue paste all over me. All right, here we go. Let's get it in there. I love the distressed look of these letters. You're going to be able to see it even better with the color. I love highly distressed letters. Whoops. I'm going to go this way. It's easier for me, and I can hit more letters at once than doing one letter at a time going down. There, just about done. So I spent a good chunk of my morning, ladies, working on graduation announcements for my Landon. Crazy town. I have to gather addresses and stuff. It's a little bit of work, but nothing, you know, I'm happy to do it. I'm so proud of this kid and so happy that he's so ready to move on. I'm going to put a little spritz of water, just not even a full spritz, just a half a spritz in there. Keep it nice and moist. I don't use this color very often. All right, let's pull back and see what we got. Oh gosh, these letters are so pretty. And even though I didn't push very hard, I'm pulling pretty hard to get that off there. Oh my gosh. Wait till you see this font, you guys. Wait till you see it close up. You need this phrase today. Isn't it perfect? It would be great on a t-shirt. It's big enough, right? That would be great on a t-shirt. I'm putting it back on its backing so I can clean it later. Check out, I'm going to hold it real close. Look at the R and the O. The T even has a lot of distressing to it. I love that. So, color of choice, I put a lot of thought into the choice of color because I didn't want it to be the same color tone of the background. The background's not light and it's not dark. It's kind of in the middle. So we either needed something very dark, like the blue, or something very light, like a white or an off-white to show up on here. So keep that in mind when you're doing your color choices. Now, we have to let that dry. It's going to take a hot minute. But I have this little birdie, and I think it's going to be so cute. The birdie on a branch. And I was thinking I was going to put it right here. I think I'm going to put it right here on this edge. And like I said, it's a sticker, so I'm just going to pull it back. Thanks, Janet. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad you love it. Oh, I can't be the only one who has trouble getting stickers to unstick, am I? I always need a little help with a set of tweezers just to get it started. I also have 2 butterflies that I may put on here somewhere, but let's get this down first. I think I'm going to move it over just a tish so it goes over the UST. It's a little hummingbird. Oh my gosh, really cute. And then I have a green butterfly, and I have this butterfly, which I think really does complement. This is a washi sticker, so they're transparent. I thought it would be good right over the G. I'm going to dry this so I don't smear my paste. I don't know if it's dry yet. I'm just going to give it a little air. Moving it around a lot because I don't want to melt the glue. I don't want to melt the Mod Podge. I don't need any heat to dry the letters. That's why Chalk Couture doesn't have a heating tool. The drying tool is a drying tool. It doesn't have much heat. It has a little bit of warmth. Not like this thing. This thing will melt your embossing powders. So you got to be really careful that you're not melting anything with all these glues and stickers and things like that. Okay, I'll need my little helper again. I think I'm going to put this, let's just see. I've been known to pull a sticker out, hold it over my project, and change my mind. It's a little red butterfly. Lori, we do this every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, chalking on paper. I'm going to cut down. You can see that it has that white border around it. I'm not going to cut it completely too, but I'm going to cut it down remarkably so there's not so much white. I want this to appear to be sitting right on that G. I'm not going to be perfect about this. I'm just trying to get a good chunk of that. See that? Off of there. I'm not needing it to be super precise. I can hear that Gannon's coming. My little Gannon, who doesn't feel good. I can hear him walking across the house. Gannon, is that you?
Yeah.
How you doing, kid?
Slept for like 2 hours.
You slept? You had a nice big nap? Yes, that's what I'm talking about when you're homesick. That's what you're here for, is to rest. I'll be done in a few minutes.
I'll go back to bed.
You're going back to bed? Aren't you going to eat lunch? Nope. Okay. Your stomach is hurting? Poor child. He has a fever. He has a temperature and a headache and a stomach ache. All right. Now, see how much better that is without that white around it? We're going to stick this. I think I want it over the word God, but no, I think I'm going to put it over chill. Let's put it over the word chill. Well, it's going over both the G and the C just a little bit. I love the stenciling behind the words. I think it just makes it a little more artistic. Like, see all those bubbles in this quarter right here? What do you think? Right? Easy breezy. You got this, girls. It's just about knowing, making decisions about your colors, and then layering. Just layer, layer, layer until you get to the top where you're going to put your focal points. That's it. You got that. You could totally do this kind of mixed media project for sure. And you can do this with any material. You can do, as we mentioned earlier, you can fabric. You can use swatches of fabric in the background. You can use book pages, music pages, paper bags, just leftover scraps of decorative paper that you have, magazines. You can use anything. And then for your second layer, which is the wash of color, you could use acrylic paints, you can use watercolor paints, you can use markers, you can use pencils, just whatever color you have that you like to work with or you want to work with. And then the stenciling, I used acrylic paint again. I used 2 different colors. And then we did Trust God and Chill, and that was, the color was called Shimmer Splash. And then we put 2 stickers. So easy, you guys. You got this. I'm glad you love it. Thank you for saying that. Oh, thank you for the prayers, Janet. You guys are the best. You're so caring and giving to us. So we do. The Kurtz family appreciates that so much. Thank you, Janet, for the prayers. All right, ladies, go make something pretty that brings your heart joy. Thank you for being here with me. If you are not on the email list, get on the email list so I can invite you into our private community. It's online, but it is off of social media. That way, if something goes wonky, we can still stay in touch and you would have a whole community of people. It's a community chat where you can share images, ask questions, comment on other people's projects, and just be a creative community together. Okay, would love to have you join us. You guys have a blessed day. Bye.